Straight switch keyboards have become increasingly competitive now, and everyone is competing for high-quality design. So today, let's talk about this RES68 from the customization studio Xenix. The unboxing of their keyboard is still something to look forward to. Last time I unboxed the Hi-Fi 68, that box plate was completely confused by me. This unboxing is arguably the best among the 4 keyboards currently available. The emotional value the packaging gives is the most substantial. Its storage bag is very large, and when you open it, there are really many accessories. I originally thought I had just found a factory and grabbed a random keyboard bag, just stuff in a keyboard and you're done. The carrying bag is a somewhat high-quality Xenix exclusive custom storage bag. Opening the storage bag, the keyboard is wrapped in a piece of cloth. The data cable below needs to be made quite delicately. It looks like a type of woven wire in the style of airline extension cables. Zico even specially applied a thickening treatment. Yes, for this RES68. After plugging it in, the loosening and sway were indeed very small. However, this design isn't very suitable for most keyboards. For example, if the C port on some keyboards is too deep, it's hard to insert. The left side of the keyboard bag should have 2 small keys. This screw platter is really good. I recently happened to want to buy a desktop ornament to hold screws. He had just dozed off when someone brought him a pillow. The other is 4 axles and a small 4-axis system. On top is a complete inner liner wrapped with an FR4 positioning board, a wiping cloth to pull the switch, unplug the electrical appliance, and an aluminum alloy screwdriver. There's also a handmade vertical piece of paper, personalized hat attached, personalized name tag, keychains and acrylic pieces, and of course perfume pieces at the end. Not buddy. I just feel like I'm here smashing vegetable pancakes. Isn't your packaging a bit too much? I am real. First time unboxing a keyboard with so many things. This is truly a treasure chest. Okay, that's all for the unboxing. This unboxing really made me want to use it. So many people on the keyboard were surprised. I don't know what you think. Now back to this keyboard. As the name suggests, the RES68 is a 68 layout magnetic lock keyboard. Its body uses a full aluminum casing power supply process. The side trim on both sides extends to the upper cover. Both sides. The entire front has been given a slightly different color. The black and white combination of the keycaps and shell is indeed quite classic. Simple and grand. Keycaps are a theme of factory height. The keycaps are not transparent. The one I have is a warm-up slide keycap. It presents a backlighting effect. The lighting effects are quite strong, so how should we describe the character design? A bit abstract, but it looks pretty good. Well, the Z68. The bulk version comes standard with a diagonal black-headed sword cap. The sword cap is somewhat translucent. Then the first 300 players were given to me as a gift. This set of opaque warm-up sword caps. The buoyancy of the starting lineup is quite good. The front of the keyboard is a slope, and on the right side is a logo. In the middle, there's an embedded carbon fiber decorative strip. Come on, just do it. This texture is indeed quite solid. It's not dull either. The side panel design is more complex, featuring a multicolor patchwork pattern. The screws are all painted in the same color. It's clear that Xenix has put a bit of effort into it. This keyboard has a bit of a mecha-style vibe. The entire side panel is also removable and replaceable, which is a great DIY feature. This part is quite simple with a round port C. Combined with this braided cable, the loosening of the interface is really well done. Whether you insert or pull it out, it still requires some effort. The bottom also holds a large block of electricity. White is topped with a PVD mirror decoration. This is my impression after using the RES68. The keyboard has made everything that should be complicated. The parts that should be simple are also simple. The entire keyboard looks quite harmonious. Disassembling this keyboard is still a bit complicated. Besides unscrewing the 5 screws on this positioning plate, you also need to unscrew these 2 side panels. Only then can the inner pot be removed. Because this keyboard is not a simple transmission structure, the middle layer of the sandwich uses a layer of silicone, and this silicone sandwich, its side is protruding. It's a bit bigger than the entire inner gear, and it gets into the side panel. This is inside the slot, so you only need to remove screws. If you can't get the whole inner guard, does this structure count as a gaskey? It has a layer of silicone, but it still feels relatively hard to the touch. If you want FL sound, you can replace the entire sound pack inside the package with it, and the sound, it will be a bit more comfortable on top. However, his feel isn't much different, because this inner gear can't be converted into a pure Koski structure. Its shell structure cannot be changed, so I don't really recommend you replace it, unless you really care that the original keyboard is a carbon behavioral definition board. But at WASD it was a separate layer of aluminum plate. This is my first time using a magnetic shaft positioning plate. Seeing this design completely separates WASD. It can effectively reduce a precision bias caused by resonance. This design is indeed quite nice and quite innovative. The switch body uses a custom Z01 Pro switch. It is a walled structure, followed by a backover design. The stability is really quite good. Then its initial pressure. It should be one of the lighter tiers currently available in magnetic grips. Its pressure is only about 30 grams. I also don't recommend you kill the top of this keyboard when using it. The setting is too low. If the setting is too low, it's still easy to accidentally touch the sound when using it. It is a relatively crisp cross sound. Let's briefly listen to the typing sound when it appears. The keyboard driver is also quite simple. On the left are the basic keyboard settings that can be adjusted. For example, stabilization level and return rate. I recommend setting the stabilization level to medium, or turn on the accidental touch protection on the high handlebar. Because the switch has relatively light pressure, the chance of accidental contact is quite high. In terms of performance, it also supports 0.01 RT and has 6 premium power units. I've been using this keyboard for almost 2 weeks now. Shooting also triggers a second shot. Performance is really flawless. Nowadays, if you hype up the performance of the S68 with pure performance, what attracted me most was its design language and sense of ceremony. There was really no other way, he just had way too many comparisons. I really didn't expect that shooting could produce so many things. The first 300 tier will also come with a set of keycaps as a gift. If you're interested in this keyboard, I think it's worth a try. This launch is really worth a try. Okay, that's all for this video. I am Sancho. Let's go for the next video.